turn. Okay. I'm just gonna come in like a sprawl. Now through here, I want legs nice and wide. Hands, don't put them behind your back. You don't move that way. You at least just put them out. But I don't want you touching. I don't want you touching their legs. I don't want you touching their body. I want the hands out to the side for your balance and the like. Okay, belly down. If your butt gets higher than your head, you're in trouble. Okay, then what we're gonna do is start to move. Once you make it 360 to one side, switch. Once you make it 360, every time is then switch your direction at the end of every one of your 360s. Okay. Again, I don't want your knees touching the ground. I don't want hands touching the ground. I don't want elbows touching your partner. I want it all to be just core pressure and just a good base. And then just turn those circles as fast as you can. Matt's going to go in position. So what we're going to start off with is I'm going to go into my sprawl. So typically speaking, whenever they're going in for like a single or a double or whatever, especially more specifically the double, when if I can get his head towards the inside, wherever his head is the hip I want it to become the heaviest on. So if we're here and his head's on this side, I do not want to drop my left hip, because the moment his head comes up, I will go down almost immediately. You can just play the pressure wave, you can test it out. Okay, I want my hip to become the heaviest wherever his head is. And then you can kind of pick and choose which direction that you want to end up going to as far as his hips are concerned. Now what I want to do is when I'm in position, okay, and I'm coming in, I want that heavy sprawl, okay, I can come in, control his head. Now through here, my knee is going to make a connection to his. As soon as I go in, I want to spin to the side. This hand right now is going to go in and it's going to throw a hammer fist between his legs. Don't hit him in the groin. Okay. But I want to put my hand inside the thigh, okay, and I want to act like I'm literally sweeping it, like I'm sweeping his leg out of the way. His base should be strong enough to where his leg does not kick out. It should become an anchor so that my shoulder can pry and make him lean towards that side. So when I'm in and I go in, my weight's going to lean forward and it should pull to bring that shoulder forward and elevate the hips at the same time. My other hand, do not go for the neck too soon. Okay? Touch the neck too soon, they will clam up, and that's not what I want. I want them to feel falsely safe. So when I spin to the side and I'm here, I like, my hand touches, I like literally almost like I'm doing a push-up on his forearm. This is okay, but move your arm. Okay? So if he's here and I go in like I'm doing a push-up, move your arm. So right now it's just a natural body weight. I'm putting my palm on his hand and I'm just leaning on top of it. So I'm like pinning his arm to the ground. So now the part I want to do is as my body leans, you see I'm kind of stepping in this way, my knees are going to switch their position. So as I'm here, as I lean, my knees are going to switch. So again, if I'm here, if I lean, as this knee goes to the ground, my knees are going to switch. So as I'm here and my weight goes forward, I'm throwing that hammer fist through his groin. Okay. As my knees travel forward, they're going to switch. Left knee down, right knee up. And this gives me the ability to sit him up on his butt. So by the time he's done, I'm not pulling him to sit. I'm pulling him all the way to the seated position. So I'm going to go sprawl, sprawl, sprawl. As I go to make my turn, connect, break him down forward. There goes my left knee. My right knee now sits up. So that by the time I'm done, we should be about like this or this. My hand can then go one-on-one. And then from this position, I'm just going to lay him down. So biggest parts are, especially with guys like Tony, I need that extra pressure inside the hip. Most people, I can just put pressure into the hip and break them down. But again, if I can just throw that hammer fist inside, throw my shoulder to break him forward. Again, I don't want to just put him onto his side. As soon as his hips touch, I want to sit him up. One more time. Let me go the other side. I just did that side. There you go. So again, hand is inside. So right here, if I just pry, you can see how my shoulder's pushing his ribs forward and that hammer fist is going in. So I want to make sure he can't move that hand in the process. So when I go to break him down, I want that elbow stuck. Right knee goes down. As the right knee goes down, left knee goes up. And then my hand can shoot directly into his neck. And at that point in time, if he is still trying to lay down, it's an easy sit-up. Any questions? Let's get 1, 2, 3. Stay. So I can tell the strikers. All right, so we're in our turtle. So one of the parts that we always have to watch out for, and I'll say this because I'm one of the guys you gotta watch out for. So when I go here, my elbow goes in the hip and my hand goes on the outside. And then I'll just kind of touch over here. Again, if I go for his neck too soon, he's gonna clam up and then it's gonna kind of change what he's gonna do. But the far side hand, if you present it too quickly, then it will get manipulated. So the moment it climbs inside the armpit, okay, it's grippable. Right now I'm on the outside, so if he wants to come get it, he's got to open himself up to make that switch. So when I'm first here, I trap over the top, elbow inside the hip, because the moment you put that hand inside, it better have a job to do. Okay, and that's why if I'm going in, I'm going for the hammer fist inside the thigh. Okay, but to just put the arm in, just to hang out, is never going to be good for you. Okay, because right now, what Matt's doing, this is my favorite grip. Okay, a lot of wrestlers will reach back to try to hook your wrist to pull it in. It's completely unnecessary. Okay, right now, all he's got to do, and this is where I catch most people, is when I'm in position, you tilt your elbow back, pinch it up against your side, and then pull your hand like you're going to come in and touch your face. This creates a little notch inside your elbow. Most people's hands are bigger than their wrists. Your hand gets stuck, and now it's too late. Okay? It's very fast. It's very effective. I don't need to reach back. I don't need to grab your wrist. I don't need to do any of that stuff. If we're wearing MMA gloves, things of that nature, your hand's even bigger, okay, but the wrist never grew. So the wrist is an easy target. Okay? So when the hand goes inside and we can collapse, that hand becomes very stuck. So what Matt's going to do is the moment that hand presents itself right through here, okay, I reach, I hook, and that's my motion. As soon as I make my connection and I make my pitch here, I'm pulling it in and my shoulder is already immediately starting to collapse to the ground. And then I'm going to do basically a quarter roll. I'm going to go in, I'm going to start to pitch forward, okay? And then I'm throwing my elbow to the outside. The one part that is the clear no-no for jiu-jitsu is my hand never goes between his legs, period. Okay? That's a crucifix, that's him taking charge, that's me getting triangled, things of that nature. So don't even play. Like at that moment in time, my arm does not belong between his legs, period, end of statement. You're like, oh, but I like, yeah, you like losing. Let's just get over that, okay? The arm does not belong between his legs. If it is, yeah, you can tell me all the things you're working on. I guarantee he's working on more, okay? The arm from that position does not belong between his legs. Okay? Again, we want to look at the hierarchy of things. For every one thing you're going to tell me that you're going to do, I'll give you 10 that he's going to do. Okay? And I'd rather be him than you in that moment. If the elbow goes on the outside, again, as soon as we're here, as soon as the hand presents itself, all I'm going to do is cup, tuck that shoulder. Again, it's only a quarter roll. I'm only going to go here, I'm only going to drop my shoulder and elevate my left hip. My elbow goes to the outside, and then I just roll sideways. It's a fat man roll, aka Peterson, okay? But with that little jujitsu twist. Okay, one, mainly don't put your arm between the legs. The moment I do, you're like, ha ha. Yeah, he's like, ha ha. It's better for him. His back to the mat means absolutely nothing. Anytime the arm goes between the legs, guess what should be next? The head should be going between the legs next. So he's controlling my arm, he's gonna start to feed, and then he's gonna start to come in, and now I'm really screwed, okay? So again, simple solutions to easy problems. The arm does not belong between the legs. Okay, one more time. Again, I'm in, that hand comes in, it's a very fast, just here, drop, open, roll, then through here, push your hips up towards their head and take over reverse cast. Make sure to that shoulder, they'll go power halves, one-on-one, go for the neck, things of that nature. And that's something that we tend to see quite a bit. So what I'm gonna do through here is I'm gonna control, okay? Now with this hand, I'm gonna keep his head down, keeping pressure on him. I can play with the arm, play with his head. Okay, now through here, I'm gonna shoot in over the top. Okay, through here I can either latch onto my own hand, or right now I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna cup into his own thigh, just to give my hand a piece to connect to. Okay. With this hand through here, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna hunt for the ankle that is nearest to me. I don't want the far one. The far one's not my interest. I want the one that's nearest to me. So when I'm here, I can come in, I can cup. Now I'm gonna throw my hop. My right leg is gonna hop in, and I'm gonna try to put my knee into this little triangular pocket that's created between his thigh and his ribs. So as I'm in through here, I'm gonna give that little hop. My left leg's gonna go up in the air, so that as I pull him down, my goal is not to roll. My goal is only to pull his ankle up far enough so that my right leg can hook in. That's as deep as I'm concerned about going. The part I don't want to do is, if I hook him in by pulling him to me, and my intention is to roll him over, he's going to roll to an unsecured hook, and by the time he gets to the other side, he's going to be running. And at a point in time, if he lands on the ground and my hook is not secured his position, I'm probably not going to secure my position. So what I want to do is I just want to fall to my side, and my hand is on his leg only to pick up his leg enough so that my leg can kick under and then come back. So when I'm in, I'm going to grip, fall to my side, pull right here. You see how his knee is up in the air? That's because of me holding onto his ankle. So when I kick my leg through, now I can let go. Because when my leg comes back, now I have the hook that I've been searching for. And I'm already controlling the shoulder in the opposite corner. So now either I'm looking to secure my legs on his, high into the hips, okay? And then once we're here, then we can start to go for your twisters, your truck position, or something of that nature. But I've already got his shoulders connected. Now I can start to play to come in from here, okay? Or to lock up his shoulder. Go ahead and move. 2 opposing corners is enough to be able to control his position. And then when I feel the opportunity is available, hip yourself out, and then you can throw in the top hook. Again, I'm in, slip over, okay, through here. Grab that ankle. I'm pulling just enough to get my leg under. Just enough. It doesn't even have to be very much. All I want is for that knee to become light so that when I pick it up in the air, that one can kick under and come back. Now it is possible And I can come in and I can just seatbelt and I can make my hop, but more than likely that's what happens. I'm trying to kick my leg through, but his body weight becomes the stopper. But if I've got that leg, okay, now when we go here, see how his knee just elevated. Now my leg is through, and now I have a great connection to his hip. And again, don't worry about when we connect him trying to go over the top, because more than likely this is where I land. I won't have this hook. I can still play my cross body lock, but I'd rather have him on his side first so I can go for the last hook. Let's give it a shot. My arm underneath his armpit, but I know my wrist, and I'm trying to make a connection with my hands as quickly as possible. Now, the biggest part to also keep in mind with this is, I believe in wrestling now, the major version of this, which is a somersault over the top, I believe is now illegal in like high school wrestling and like, but the walking version, as we go around the outside, I believe is perfectly fine, at least in high school wrestling. In jiu-jitsu circles, I mean, most of the time it's very different. But ultimately, when I'm in, I make my connection, I put my hands inside under the armpit, next to the neck, and then through here, I connect my arms together, okay, and then get a good squeeze on his neck. Now, from here on out, every movement I make, the closer I get to mat, the more I squeeze. Okay, so right through here, I'm going to start to move forward. So as I move, even as I'm changing my position, I continue to eat up that space. And I continue to squeeze a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. Right now I'm back here, and as I move forward, I eat up all that little space that's happening. Once the space is eaten up, he doesn't get it back. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to stay with little T-Rex arms, okay, coming in. My body is going to start to walk towards the outside. There's at least, I don't know. I mean, if there's 180 degrees worth of potentiality, there's at least 180 different variations that you can go with. Okay, if we go sideways, that's fine. If we end up going more over the top, a lot of it has to do with his resistance. At what point in time does he just fall over? Okay, so when I'm here and I latch on, okay, and I start to make my circle. So it can either become a very acrobatic type thing where I'm literally pulling him over the top of me. You know, that's him trying to base out. Or as soon as I start to move to the side, if he just collapses onto his side, then we basically kind of do the same thing. But my hands are latching onto him, and then through here, when I go over the top, okay, my body is going to start to walk. And as it walks, again, depending on when he collapses, if he collapses here, then I pull him with my arms and reach with my legs. Again, where he collapses kind of dictates the whole thing. So again, I latch on, my head is going to go forward for the pocket over here. Okay, and then my shoulder, you see on my right shoulder is already starting to collapse to the ground, and my body is moving away from that. So now I'm going to pull him towards my legs and create the little slingshot. That's the biggest variation, or the biggest piece of it. Or, like I said, it could be a lot smaller. As I go in here and I bring it down, it could just be like that. Okay. Either way is functional. I don't get to necessarily dictate which one. His response. When does he attempt to go? I've gone on some where I've gone complete 180, where I'm arcing upside down and pulling on his neck, and I've had people tap from the position. They refused to even kick over. So I mean, I've seen it in every aspect that exists. The one part we're not going to do, though, is we are not going to just dive over the top, okay? Because that's the one that, realistically speaking, when it's done, anytime we're jumping, it's hard for us to control how the pressure gets received on the other side. Like I said, in this instance, I'm latching on, I'm putting my head to the ground, and then I'm collapsing on this shoulder, and then I'm walking. I can get to the same position, but with a lot less acrobatics. And again, I get to control it from beginning to end. And if he moves, he moves. If he doesn't, then at least I know when I get to the other end, my pressure is going to be at its greatest. Biggest part is, again, remember, is once you make your connection, right now, when I first make my connection, I'm way back here. If I move forward and do not cinch up on that lock, his head will slip right out. I'll come in here, I'll go over the top. Okay, and that was not created by him, that was created by me. Again, when I first put my arms around him, he was big, and as I moved forward, I didn't cinch up and keep that connection on top of him. All right, let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3.